Hi everybody, welcome to Free Range Diva. Today the subject is protein powders, a vegan protein powder that I'm going to be reviewing. It's this one right here, and it's from Perfect. It's their Perfect Plant Protein Organic Protein Powder. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about a sale that's going on the Perfect website, and I'll be sharing a recipe where I use this protein powder in a cookie recipe, and those are going to be my sprouted apple butter cookies. So let's get started. Lots to do. So Perfect is a company I've talked about before because I use their collagen and several other of their superfood supplements. I wanted to try this because not only is this organic, it's got 3 ingredients, and those 3 ingredients are all seeds. It's got hemp seed, pumpkin seed, and sacha inchi, which is a superfood that's native to South America and the Caribbean, and it's grown primarily for its flavorful seeds. The fruit is not edible, but the seeds are really delicious, and so it's those seeds that are in here. This is gluten-free. It's also free of peas, nuts, grains, and legumes. So it's appropriate if you are on a paleo diet or keto, because this only has 4 grams of carbs per serving. And there's no peas in here. This is also, in my experience, very easy on my digestive tract. So it's very easy for me to digest. And it's non-GMO. And it's a complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids with about 17 grams of protein per serving. Additionally, Perfect batch tests this for heavy metals, and you can go to their site and read, it's very low, but you can read the results of those tests right on their website. So the color and texture of this it's deep green. Pull some out. There you go. It's a deep green color, and it's a very soft texture, so it blends easily in smoothies and hot drinks. I've never tried it in cold drinks, but I would assume that it would perform the same way. Sorry. And it's not gritty either. So the flavor here is a very savory, herby kind of note. It tastes delicious. It kind of reminds me of mushrooms, like roasted mushrooms. So if you like green smoothies, this would be perfect in it, because this is unsweetened. And I'm going to say that a million times because that's really why I wanted it. I wanted it because it's unsweetened, so that I could use it in baked goods and more savory dishes. So for example, I'm making tomato soup either today or tomorrow. I was at the farmer's market, and they had a sale on soft tomatoes, so I'm going to make a soup out of it. And when I do, to bump up the protein, I'll probably add a couple of scoops of this, just for the, just to make it more of a meal. Because I have been intermittent fasting since the beginning of the year, and one of the things that has made that successful for me is getting plenty of protein in every single meal. So something like this is a great way to do that. Additionally, I also wanted to use it in baked goods because I wanted an unsweetened protein powder to use in baking. So I'm going to be showing you a cookie recipe that I made with this, and how you can substitute a plant-based protein powder for flour in your recipes. But I have good news that I wanted to share first before we jump to the recipe, and that is that the Perfect Supplements website is having a sale. They're calling it their Guilt Be Gone sale, and it's going to be 25% off of all of Perfect brand products. And then you'll get an additional 10% off if you use my Diva10 coupon code. So 25% off on all the Perfect products on their site, almost all. I think their bundles are an exception. But otherwise, 25% off plus an additional 10 from me. And the markdown will be made on the site, so you'll see the prices once the sale goes live. The sale is going to start on November 2nd and it ends on November 3rd, but more about that later. So this video is not sponsored. However, I am affiliated with Perfect. I have been for quite a while. I've also been a long-time customer for quite a while. I discovered them when I first tried their hydrolyzed collagen powder, collagen peptides. I've been using this for years. I've talked a ton about it. And so I'm going to be, when the sale goes live, I'm going to be buying another one of these because I'm almost out. I have been using their collagen powder exclusively for years. And even though I get offers from other companies to try their powders and review them, I always say the same thing. No, thank you. I'm sticking with Perfect. But I've also used their acai superfood, I'm enjoying their baobab superfood powder right now in my smoothies because it gives me extra vitamin C and fiber. But they have a ton of different types of products on their website. They've also got spirulina, resveratrol, desiccated liver, and many, many more. So when the sale does go live, I'll be buying the collagen, definitely, as well as their acerola powder because I have to switch to a more natural form of vitamin C. And I'm going to be getting their mushroom blend for the calming and adaptogenic benefits of mushrooms. So that's my short list. The sale starts at midnight Eastern Time or 12:01 Eastern Time on November 2nd. So that's Wednesday in the middle of early Wednesday morning. And then it goes until midnight on November 3rd. But if you stick around to the end, I have yet another surprise. So, okay, let's talk about cookies, sprouted apple butter cookies. It's actually from a recipe from this cookbook, which is called Back to Butter, a Traditional Foods Cookbook. The author is Molly Chester, and you can find this on Amazon. But I have used this book for years. I think I purchased it in 2014, and it's sort of my Bible when it comes to making foods that are easier to digest, like sprouted, fermented, soaked kind of foods in order to make the nutrients more bioavailable. And the flour that I'm using in the recipe, because it does call for sprouted flour, I'm using this organic sprouted whole wheat flour from 1 Degree. And this, although it's a little more, it has more texture than say AP flour, which is much softer. I have no problem substituting this flour in recipes for things like quick breads and cookies. Whereas you might want to mix it with AP flour if you're doing something lighter like a fluffy biscuit or something. And when you're working with flour in a recipe and you want to substitute protein powder, particularly plant-based protein powder, for some of the flour, keep in mind that you don't want to substitute more than about 25% of the flour with the protein powder. More than that, and the texture is going to suffer a bit. It's going to get really dry. Also keep in mind that these powders tend to absorb more liquid, so you may want to bump up the amount of liquid in your recipe like I did a little bit, just to make sure that you get the right consistency. Otherwise it might be a little too dry. And of course, your apple butter spread, just make sure that it's only apples. This has organic apples and apple juice concentrate. And then you're good to go, because we want to keep the sugar low. All right. You start with a half a cup of whole almonds and ground them up in a spice grinder or food processor. And anything that didn't make it through the first go round, I'm just going to chop by hand. and this will give the cookies some extra texture. They'll just add a little extra crunch. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Place all the dry ingredients in a large bowl: the flour, almonds, a little cinnamon, and sea salt. I've scaled down the recipe a bit, so I'm removing a large scoop, which is about 1/4 cup of the flour, and adding back in a large scoop of the protein powder. Add the remaining dry ingredients and stir to mix together. Set aside. In a small bowl, mix the wet ingredients. This is melted coconut oil and an equal amount of maple syrup. Whisk together and pour into the dry. Stir well to combine. It should come together very quickly. Add a little water if the mixture is too thick or doesn't come together into a smooth dough. Then, add the raisins that have been rough chopped. Okay, I'm going to grab a cookie sheet and the apple butter, and I'll be right back. Because I added protein powder, I also needed to add a couple of tablespoons of water to the batter because the protein powder does dry things out and needs a little more moisture. This is a well-oiled cookie sheet. I oiled it with coconut oil, and I'm going to spoon out about a couple of inches. Dough is going to go into these balls. Form the dough into balls about the size of a large walnut and place about 2 inches apart. So we're just going to take our finger and create an indentation in the top. If it splits, that's fine. Just makes it look more homemade, or you can stick it back together like that. Once we have the indentation, you grab the apple butter and one of my cute little baby spoons. I love these, especially for tea. I'm just going to put a dollop in the center. Cute. Into the oven. They baked at 350 for about 14 minutes. I'm going to leave them in this pan to continue to crisp up. I don't want to disturb them yet because they are a little bit soft. So, and here they are. These are so good. Kids love them, you'll love them, and you'll feel really good about serving them because they've got such healthy, nutritious ingredients. Let me know if you decide to try these cookies. They make a great snack or dessert. Kids will love them, you will love them, especially because they're lower in sugar. If I can find the recipe online, I'll link it. Otherwise, I will write it out for you. I'm not exactly sure how they feel about sharing recipes from the cookbook, but we'll come up with something. And for those of you who decided to stick around to the end, the special secret is that I have a feeling that although the Perfect Sale starts on November 2nd, they're going to open it up to the public the day before. 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. And, if anybody asks, you didn't hear that from me. But it's good because when they have these big sales, they don't have them that often. But when they do, products tend to sell out quickly. So you can buy it early. So start your lists now, and I'll put a reminder up in the community tab on Tuesday so that you know that the sale is coming. So yeah, 25% off, Diva 10 for an extra 10, and you're good to go. You'll be all set for the year. All right, thank you so much for watching today. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you won't miss my next one. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon. Bye.